Happy Wednesday. Since we are still in the month of February and it is historically Black History Month, I thought that we might read a story today about Miss Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was an incredible lady. Rosa grew up near Montgomery, Alabama with her mother, brother, and grandparents. She was very little and very brave, and she always tried to do what was right. When she was young, Rosa's grandparents told her stories about slavery, when black people weren't free to live like the other people. Slavery was over, but times were still hard for Rosa and her family. Black people were treated very badly and told that they were not equal to white people. Every day, Rosa watched the school bus go by, taking white children to their big school. It didn't stop for her. She had to walk a long way to the one-room school that was just for black children. Rosa knew this wasn't right. She knew she was a regular person, just as good as anyone else. Lots of times she had to make sure that other people knew it too. When Rosa grew up and got a job in the city, she couldn't use the same doors, elevators, bathrooms, or water fountains as white people. She could ride the bus, but she had to sit in the back. Her life was full of rules that she knew weren't right. Rosa fell in love with a man named Raymond, who was trying to change the rules to be more fair and equal. Soon Rosa started working too, trying to get more rights for black people and help for those who were treated badly. She worked day after day, even when it seemed like nothing would ever change. On her way home from the city one day, a bus driver told Rosa to stand up so a white person could take her seat. She was sick of the rules that she knew were wrong. She thought, enough. She said, no. Rosa was taken to jail. She wasn't scared because she knew that she was fighting for what was right. When Rosa came home that night, she talked with her friends and family about what to do. She decided to keep fighting, no matter how hard it would be. Black people all over the city heard what had happened to Rosa, and they thought, enough. Rosa inspired them to stop riding the buses until the rules changed. So they walked to school and to work and to the store in all kinds of weather. Rosa traveled the country from New York to San Francisco to convince other people to join the fight. Finally, after 1 year, the Supreme Court decided that treating black people differently from white people on buses was wrong. The rules were going to change. It was no longer safe for Rosa to live in Alabama. She moved to Detroit and fought for fair schools, jobs, and houses for black people. She fought for voting rights, women's rights, and the rights of people in prison. When Rosa was an older woman, she was given awards and told that she was a hero, but she knew who she was. A regular person, just as good as anyone else, and she had work to do. So here's some pictures of Rosa, some real pictures of her. See here when she was arrested. Isn't that beautiful? She She was born in 1913, and she lived till 2005. An incredible lady. So when Rosa was growing up and they were riding on the buses, the black people had to sit in the back of the bus, and the white people sat in the front of the bus because it was more convenient for them. And if a white person came on the bus, a black person was required to give up their seat so the white person would have somewhere to sit. So it wasn't just that Rosa was sitting, there's more to the story than what we hear in just a book, but the story is that there were other seats around that were empty. But the man that came on the bus wanted her seat, and he didn't want to sit near a black person. And so the bus driver tried to get Rosa to move, and he said, if you don't move, I'll have to call the police. And she said, you may do that. That's a really gentle and non-confrontational way to say no. To say, you do what you feel like you have to do, but I'm going to do what I feel like I have to do. And Rosa was just an ordinary person, but she stood up for what she knew was right. And because of her, other people felt like they were empowered to do the same thing. So as you're growing up, I hope you'll remember Rosa. I hope that you'll know that ordinary is still extraordinary, and that you can find ways to do what you know is right. I hope you have a great week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.